Hello and welcome to Fiona's Creative Canvas. I'm Fiona and today I'm going to be doing a textured art piece and I'm going to be using acrylic inks. I've got some Artelia, I've got some Golden Flow paints and some Liquitex. I also might water down just some straight acrylic paints, but the idea is for it to be very fluid. But I want to put a bit of texture down first. For my inks to float around. So I've got out some modelling paste and I'm going to be using a spatula to apply it. I want soft edges and lines. I have got out some other palette knives just in case I need it, but I'm hoping I can do it all with the spatula. Alright, so let's just, I've got a small canvas here today. It's a 12 by 16 inch canvas and this is an experiment. I haven't used much acrylic inks, so I just wanted to see how it flows. And flip it around. Just creating something in the middle. And I might just go a little bit further up here. Ooh, that's interesting. Took it out though. There we go. Not sure about this bit. Alright, something like that. So I'm going to let this dry overnight and then I'm going to come in with some acrylic inks. Okay, so this is nice and dry now and we've got some lovely texture. I've grabbed out a variety of brushes. This one's a bit more bristly and this is nice and soft. I've also grabbed out a sponge that I've cut in half. I've got some plastic wrap that came off the canvas. And I'm using some acrylic inks. I've got the Artelia here. I've got a few different colours of that. This is Amsterdam Titanium White mixed with water. And I've got these as well, which are the High Flow acrylics by Golden mixed with some water. So this is pretty new to me, so I don't really have a good plan. I might just pour some of this on. Maybe we'll put the green through the middle. Not sure what I think about that green. I haven't mixed the Payne's Grey with water, but let's just see what happens if I drop that in. Kind of breaks up a little bit. I'm just going to spread this on. Just get my canvas covered. Whoop, tipped it off the end there. So I expect this might take a few layers, layering up colours and stuff like that maybe. If I made it too wet, not sure. Let's mix up that Payne's Grey. Well, I like the way the white is standing out though. That is nice. And I might just tip that excess water off. So probably too much water, maybe there to start with. So I might put those aside and let's try the inks. Oh, that's quite a bit. Maybe. Do I want to come in with a sponge? Let's try it. It's made it quite green. Try some different colours. And let's try the white. I want to see what that does. Just going to darken around the outside, I think. Don't know if it leaves bubbles. So I might use a paper towel, and I don't think I'll get the bubbles. Let's remove some of the liquid. Okay, cool. But I'm going to continue with the inks without adding liquid. And just a little bit. So that looks terrible. Not sure about this. What am I doing? Maybe I need to put more liquid. Let's try tilting some liquid around. Problem is, it's just taking it off, isn't it? What to do? This is where hopefully I can turn this into something still. What other colours have I got here? Shading grey. What's that do? No, I didn't want that one. I wanted this one. Ooh, look at that. Interesting. I think it just needs to be layered up. Maybe I should just be using acrylic paints mixed with water. It's a little thicker. This is just getting worse and worse. Let's try something. I might make up some other colours. blend up some acrylic paints mixed with water, and I'm going to try and blend these with some of the water. And I'm going to tilt it around and we're going to see what happens with this. Just going to move this around a bit. I think it's a little bit thick. A little bit of the grey up in the corner. I feel like I have to spread it all over. And I'm going to wet down the rest of the areas so that it flows. We're going to tilt this, but I do want to add some of this pearl in, because I know how pretty it can be. I've tried it once before. So let's just mix that. Alright, let's try it. So runny. Oh, I love the angle. Want it all going up here. In the same direction. Okay. Just put some artificial strokes through there. Cool. I reckon I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come over the raised bits with some pearl white. Oh, look at my hands. Okay, this is dried. The corners here aren't great. I do like the lines going through the middle. So just because painting doesn't turn out the way you quite were hoping, doesn't mean you have to stop there. So I'm going to try applying some other colours, and I think I'll use a sponge and do some sponge work. So I'm just putting on some gloves. I've also got this plastic that I could also create a bit of texture. I don't really know where I'm going with this. Sometimes when I just start a piece, it takes me somewhere. I don't know where it's going to end up. So let's just start putting on some colours. I've got some Van Dyke Brown here. I thought I might try and introduce some other colour in. I might get my sides done a bit as well. And I've grabbed some, what's this other colour? It's yellow ochre as well. Not too sure about this sponge. Let's try a little bit of the ochre. Ooh, maybe too much ochre. And this is where I'll bring in the sponge again, I think. I'm going to try and blend that. The blue down here. So I'm glad I started on a smaller canvas for this piece, because there's lots of experimenting going on here. Might bring a little bit of the white in as well. Nice. I like that. That blend is a lot nicer than this one. Just lots of pressing to get it to blend. What else? What else can we do? All right, so let me think now. I do want to highlight my edges, but do I want to use a bit of liquid and let it run a bit? I'm scared because it didn't go the way I planned originally, so it has me worried. But no, it's all experimentation. I don't want you guys to be afraid to try stuff. Adding in a bit of the white. Sort of trying to follow that path of just adding a bit of that brightness. And I did grab out these sponges. These are just like makeup sponges. I could try that with the pearl. Just creating a bit of depth of colour in there. I'm just going to do this in a couple of spots. Just wanted to get a little bit of dark puddles. Learn how to use the liquids. So that's just for some contrast. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come in with my highlights. The pearl, I'm going to put that just down on my surface here. And just lightly. that absorbed really quick. I think I'll put water on this end for blending. This is tricky, actually. I've got out my chrome marker here, and I thought I might just highlight a little bit with the chrome marker. Just because it's a little bit shinier than this pearl, I think. It's still going to be mostly pearl though. Cool. Okay, here is the final result. And we've got some nice shine on those areas. Very shiny here. The pen works really well. Got some of the pearl on here, and there's a little bit of pearl going through as well. It's very moody. Took me on quite the ride. How much did I learn? Well, I think I learned that I prefer something with a little bit more substance, a little bit thicker. But I also learned how to blend these edges with a sponge and incorporate it, which I thought was worked really well. Even added in some light areas with the sponge as well, which, you know, you can't really, it looks like it belongs. And then I just loved the way the whole thing ran. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you learned not to give up. I shall see you all in the next one. Bye.